Hey, welcome back. 140 days. I guess I can say I survived. And I'm not on the issue of dying for food or water. I guess I have quite a lot of food now. Have a shower. And have basically everything. Yeah, this is cycling out the water. So this is just a gigantic square home that I can call home, I guess. So a nice. I like how the large vent looks with this kind of wall. Looks like part of the wall. That's really nice. The others I just add like some random variation just to break the. Just at a flat wall, right? So that's it. Some reinforced windows here, so I can push this to a vacuum if I want to. And this will be for the suits. And when I finish building this, my automated oven here, which have billion potatoes and oil. And yeah, so if I go over the base system real fast. So the code here is almost the same. Well, storm incoming, so one upgrade I did on the storm control that I have over here, right? I added that when I got a storm incoming, it sent a message to the helmet, right? So which I will try to load real fast here, so we can go over it. So I guess that I'm stopping the message way too early. And while the storm is going, I can go over the other systems, right? So this is my filtration system, which is basically the same as that one there. The difference is this one is using slight advanced code, and I have cooling here. So I'm pre-cooling the carbon dioxide and nitrogen, so it doesn't heat the room too much, right? So even though like this room is really big, so if I pump gas into the or that move in there, it wouldn't make too much difference. It will slight heat up. But anyway, doing a pre-cooling there, and also cooling the room itself, right? So there's the cooling line which comes all the way from there. The water situation, so I had like basically no water, so I bought this thing from the trader, and instead of trying to cool it down a little bit, I was dumb and dumped the entire thing over here. It was like 100 liters of steam, so a lot of moles and a lot of mass to go over. Now everything cooled down. It's like 100 and something liters. You can see like 55 here, and then in the pipe more 54, right? So 110 more or less liters of water that I tried to cool at once, which didn't work at all, right? So the only thing that did was draining my power like crazy, show that I need more power. So I finished building the second row of wind here, right? So now I have 10, 20, 24, 26 wind, and this is being able to keep up. This is the only battery that gets drained. Sometimes go to 0 and then go back to 100, but none of the other batteries are being touched. So I just do a quick look here, and then if any of the other batteries are changing, I know that I'm losing power. Yeah, and then I found this other trader. Now I have like an interesting patch bug, I guess I can call it that. So this trade come in, so I just to get this story straight, right? So I was holding the trader with the auction and then Sting here. So I bought all this thing and I couldn't cool down enough, right? So that trader in particular that has this thing sell water for a higher price than this one. This one is 12, like the other one is 18. So I was running out of water, so I had to buy the rest of the water from 18, and then I put in the bunker, let's say, because now it's just here idling, it's not doing anything. And then I find a trader, then I sell like the entire ore list that he bought, like it's a ore trader. Then I send him away, I mean a lot of money. Then another trader come in, the one that make like the super alloys, and then that one buys all the ores. And then I sell the entire list of ores to him again, which make me like 5,000 and something. And then I send him away. Then I find this guy, and then I bought all his water, which was sold, like there was like sold by here, and I have like 550 or something, right? So if I buy it here 530, you see I would end up more or less with the money I have now. But I guess when the games update, for some reason they reset the table what you bought or not, so now I have water here again. I can sell stuff to him again, so that's, yeah, I sold the cake, that I had a cake here, so I sold to him. But anyway, that's minor. The storm is never hitting, right? For the storm alert, this is the code I had already for the weather station. So the only thing I'm doing, like I create a variable here, alert send, just so I don't keep sending the alert to the suit like 20 times. And then when the storm is incoming, I just check branch if it's greater than 0. If it's greater than 0 means I already sent the alert. Right, so I start with 0. And then just go to the transformer, set transformer on, which is this guy here, right? So just go back to the code that should be going. If I didn't send the alert, I just save to the logic transmitter the setting 18, which is the alert code for the soup, for the storm. And then I set the alert send to 1. So now this line will be 1, and then it will always skip the rest here. Once the storm is cleared, here, right? So you only get to the bottom here when the storm is clear. Then I clear this alert sent, and then the transformer can be on again. So, and I get the ship for the filtration, because then I can go over the no, I can't. If I drop, it's going to fly which direction I'm flying when I jump on this storm? This direction. So since I'm basically done with this already, so if I dropped it here, it's gonna be there. Okay, so I can grab you, place here, place import, place you back there, and grab you. Now I can slowly walk all the way to my bunker. So that's why, if you're asking, I don't have, like I have this separation on the turbines. I think I went over already, right? So I don't have all the wind on the same line, so I can use the other one during the storm, right? Those two wind at the very end will be charging the batteries. Well, let me fast with the waste. Okay. So the only thing this bunker is doing is idling the power usage, right? So it's not using too much power at all. There is no plants here. I left the seeds, have some water left here. If disaster happen, I can come back here and rebuild. Well, the possibilities there, right? And I still using, so I just need to come here because I don't have other printers yet, and I need to move like the separation, like the cooling and filtration for the waste. It's not on the other base yet. Beside that, this is clean. I have my emergency food here that I bought, and some old equipment that I don't use. So while we're doing this storm, let's go over the filtration code real fast. The only change here, different from this bunker filtration that I have here, is that I'm using like a slight advanced function. So if you see here, like the filtration for the pollutants, right? So the main goal is check both filters, and then if both filters are okay, not both, if at least one of the filters are okay, then we go and check the pressure of the waste, and then if the waste is below 40 megapascals, we run it or not. And then for the carbon dioxide, right? Same thing. We're gonna check the filters, and then we're gonna decide based on the waste or the output, because one will have carbon dioxide, the other will have nitrogen. We're gonna check the pressure and decide if we're gonna run or not, right? And then the same for the oxygen, right? So we want to check the filters, and then based on the pressure or the temperature, we're gonna run the filtration, yes or no. So those are always the same, right? What changes is the pressure itself that I'm checking. So to avoid some repetition, I'm using this jump AL. So everything that has a jump has this AL option. So you can do jump AL, or you can do brain or whatever condition you want, like less than, greater than, then add AL at the end. And the only thing this does is use a special variable called RA. So you can always jump back to RA. So what this means is you jump to the filter check, and it's stored this line, right? So and then when you jump to RA, it will come back here and then continue it from there, as if you were just going down. So this code here is like a generic code, right? So it loads all the parameters from the filtration unit. So load batch name in the slot in where 0 or 1, so reading both slots. The filtration hash will never change because filtration hash is always the same. And then what changes is the name, right? So load batch name, you need the hash and then you need the name. So the name is what changed. So the only thing you have to keep in mind is that so you have the name, right? So your target has this hash function. So whatever you have the hash, filtration, carbon, whatever name you gave, this is your target. So before jumping, I just set, I have another variable, right? So which is just store like in a register, whatever register you want. So the only thing this does, like, you save the name of the hash name of the filtration pollutant into the target. So now everything that has filtration target will look at the filtration pollutants. And I just load out variables. Load the quantity, load the pressure, the output, load the pressure, the waste, load the temperature, the pressure, the input, temperature, the input, and then I decide if it has filters or not. So I sum both filters, R0 and R1, and then I just want to know if like I can skip running the filtration if it has a valid filter, right? So save if it's greater than 1. If it's greater than 1 means I have a valid filter. If it's not, it will just say that I don't have filter. So don't use 0 because I'm pretty sure this yield here at the beginning will add like a half second or some game ticks where we going to be sending everything to the waste, right? So the filtration, when you don't have a filter or the filter is 0, everything goes to the waste. So if my oxygen filter is running, that means all my oxygen won't be going to the auction and then will go into the waste. But most important, the real important one is the pollutant run, right? So the first one, because on the pollutant, this one, I'm having like filters for the pollutant itself. So the output is pollutant, and then the waste is carbon dioxide and oxygen. So if my pollutant filter run out, the pollutant will go to the waste tank, which means the pollutant will be spread in the base. Anyway, to avoid this, I just make sure the filter has 1. So at 1, the filter stops, so the filtration doesn't work. And from there, you just need to, so you set the target, right? So here I'm setting the target as a pollutant, then here's the carbon dioxide, and then you just work with the variables like pressure output, pressure waste, temperature, whatever variable you loaded from the generic code you made. And yeah, besides that, the only thing you have left here is the cooling calculation. So I'm doing not calculation, I'm just turning on and off the cooling to keep the room at that temperature. I guess the storm is off now. So I would say that I can call this a win. I had more than 50 liters of water, 100 and something. I got more than 5,000 monies. I had more at least, right? And I have no imminence to die whatsoever. I can say now that I have infinite oxygen because these plants are working greatly. So I'm starting to have excess oxygen already. Yep. Not much, but it's growing. And with the amount of plants I have, it's really easy to just spend now. You already saw how much water I have, and I can also buy more because they reset this guy, so I can buy again. Yeah, so I was thinking, so now that we get to this point, it really enters on the creative side of the game, which really don't appeal too much for me. So I really like the pressure and the rush of the starting conditions, but now start to lose interest quite fast. So what I'm going to do with this plane, so I'm thinking I'm going to continue with the challenges on the hard planet mod, which I didn't beat yet. I got pretty far, but then I died, right? So the second attempt. So I'm planning to go back on that one. But I don't want to also just leave this one out of the dead in the water. So what I'm thinking is, I was looking at the other people playing, right? So, and then they went with the deep miner really early, which in my head was okay. So we're gonna do a deep miner, okay? It will cost some power, but that's fine. It's not cheap to run. It is expensive, but like you can do solar generator, like you can have it running only on during the day because it takes like one solar panel to make it work. So there is options, right? So, but the biggest thing is you need to run the centrifuge, right? And in Venus, especially the early game, the only thing you can run is the electric one, which is even more power and take like 20 years more than the combustion one. And I was okay, so that's not viable, right? Because you're gonna spend so much resource to build it, and then you still need to wait forever. But I was just comparing, right? So the deep miner, it costs 50 steel, and constant electron is not constant. So electron you can make for free. So the thing here, invar and constant. Is constant not that much because the temperature is low. Invar is the thing, right? So 50 steel and 10 invar. When I look at the ogre that I was doing, and the ogre is more expensive, way more expensive than the deep mining, but then I get the ores directly and with gases, which might be good or might be bad, depends on what you were looking for. The early game, I think having gases on the ores is bad because make harder to smelt. If you have degas ore, It's much easier to control the furnace. But at the same time, if you get the deep mine, you already made your first batch of ores anyway, so the hard part already passed. So, and then also have the ogres. You need to set up the entire infrastructure, which is the worst part of it, right? So I think that's why people don't play with those, because you need to place the ogre and then place all the chutes and then place all the cables, and then you have to dismantle everything and then move the stuff again. That's a pain. One suggestion that I saw and I really like it was like you place the ogre, right, and then the ogre itself, like the building has like a battery connection, and I just place the battery connection, and the ogre goes, do whatever it needs to do, come back, and then it also has like internal storage. So you come back, you take out the storage, you swap the battery, or you move the ogre from one place to another, and then you go, oh wait, that would be fantastic, and people would really use the ogre, I guess, like if it was like this. But since it's not like this, I think the deep miner, well, the deep miner is cheaper, offers you degassed ores, and you don't need to move anything, but you have to use the centrifuge. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna run a maybe experiment with this to see if you can actually get good stuff from it. Biomass. Oh yeah. So yeah, I think I'm gonna like keep going with this base, but then with way less frequency, because I grow tired of the creative mod like really fast. So I'm gonna go over the hard planet mod, and then I thinking of doing like a different kind of challenge. But I don't know if it's viable yet, so we're gonna do one test first, and then if it's viable, that will be really interesting. Yeah, just like the first Venus made easy, the main goal here was to make the starting of the brutal condition like somewhat easy, let's say. Can't be easy, but at least can be normal. So, and then I guess the starting is pretty consistent. The only issue you're gonna have is one, the randomness of the ores, especially cobalt, that might add 1 or 2 days to your building, but I guess the overall it doesn't change much. On display, like it took 2 days more to get the enough cobalt to do what I needed. And I think that the big changes that I did that really make the difference was going over the plants earlier, right? So that was the main difference. Besides that, then you have to deal with trader randomness. The best way to deal with trader randomness is having a 7x7 with 15 runaway, because then you have more options. And while you are waiting, the only thing you do is build more power, build a medium antenna. That helps. Once you get to that stage, I think you're a pretty good set. If you don't do any silly mistake, like I did the first time I tried, not first, the second one, third, whatever, you should be set. Oh yeah, so I guess I just went on this one to go over what everything I already have. And now I think I'm going to just harvest all those plants here. Yeah, one thing that I might want to come and play with this one more. Well, now we have that Lottie, whatever you call it. So I guess it would be worth it to try to make it harvest this thing for me. I don't really agree with the idea of having that robot arm as like right now in the game, but well, it's already there, so we're gonna use it. And the main complaint here is that there's so much stuff that the game would be improved on, and then that would be better than have like the Harvey version that moves, because we already have the Harvey, right? And that thing doesn't do much else right now. But anyway, that's just me complaining about the priorities on the game that I'm not really a fan of. I should not have picked up the seeds in between, because now I won't know which one is which. Well, I guess the ones that we already seeded only have this will create. This one has its growing, okay. So I can take this. This is growing. I can take this. Take this. This is growing. This is growing. And I wonder when we going to be able to make oil from this stuff. Doesn't need to be this machine, but then we definitely want like a automated reagent processor, right? So, and the one that make the pews also. Done. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this one here, and then from time to time I come back to here and then to that like expansion, test the machines, test the auger, the deep miner, the centrifugal with the electric version. And yeah, but then I'm probably gonna be switch focus to the hard plant mod again. You can't harvest this by hand, right? Yeah, 15. Yeah, you stay there. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. It was really nice run until now. Fail like a lot of times and then had to redo it a lot of times. Give me some ideas on how to go over the hard mod plant again. Now I have some slight changes on the plan. Okay, see you in the other one. Thank you and bye.